Ron?
We be on.
Uh-oh. All right.
I think everybody can hear us. I don't think I got on Grizzled News and Notes though, but Mike's listening. Maybe he can share it. For some reason I couldn't find Grizzled News and Notes.
Oh.
He showed me quick Thursday or yesterday, but I couldn't find it. So I tried to get all the other platforms going.
Oh.
All right, so here we are. Where's the rain? And we're still in a high red flag alert throughout the state. No burning.
No burning.
So we got Mr. Wozniak here today. He can talk to us a little bit
What's
about
up?
what he was exposed to last weekend, fighting the fire up in Berlin there, and all the other fires that we've had around.
Been a lot of them.
Had one in Voluntown. Had one.
Yep, that one, I think they're still picking up hot spots.
Yeah.
Berlin, I just got to notice, is still burning good. So
Yeah.
I heard it's controlled, but it's still burning.
yeah, it's been controlled for a while.
Yeah.
It's just getting it out. It's going to be months probably, I would
They
imagine.
probably should just, if it's a controlled burn in the forest, sometimes you need to have that done. Just get rid of all that undergrowth.
Problem is, it's not burning the top brush now. It's burning the bottom.
Okay.
Like Voluntown, when we were up there, we were there till like 3 PM, and it was burning 6 inches underground.
In the ground.
Yeah.
Wow.
The trees, we'd cut trees down and stuff, and they were burning. And it gets down that low, it travels underground. We've got a big problem now.
Follows the root system.
Yeah.
Wow.
But Berlin was good.
Interesting.
That was an interesting experience. Like
Yeah.
it was on the incident
I hope
management. Yeah, it was on the incident management team, which was it's a regional team for
Yeah.
Region 4. So we went over there to help out Region 3 because they ran out of manpower. They got burned out, literally.
Mhm.
And we ended up doing I was on logistics the first second day, and the first day I was on documentation.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of
Cool.
the figuring out part. We help the incident command out. We become part of incident command, not necessarily making decisions. We did in Berlin, but usually we just go and support the incident commander. But they ran out of people, so
Yeah.
it was just too big of an incident. So we had CERT up there. That was good.
What? CERT?
CERT, Community Emergency Response Team.
Okay.
Boy.
Yeah.
That sounds like something that should be done.
Yes.
Yeah, we've been trying to get that pushed around here, but I think we're going to go regional with that.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing happens in town, when talk with the region and when I have just develop a regional team that just multi-cooperative, and then we'll figure out from there. And it was really good. They gave us passed out food to the responders, provided rehab and stuff like that. There was a tent that had heat and air conditioning they took care of. They were responsible for that and everything. So it was logistics. I got that set up, and then they helped run it. Big long lines of food for the responders and stuff.
So they help with the logistics portion of.
Yeah, they're part of
For that,
logistics.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes a lot of
Good.
sense.
Yep.
I mean, a lot
That's
of people aren't firefighters, so what better opportunity is to be logistics? You know?
Yeah, it really helps. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we had, when I remember we were working with Eversource, we had logistics teams,
Yeah.
to set up the stuff.
So
I don't know.
sounds good. So
What channels are you on? I'm not seeing it anywhere.
I don't know. SNSN. No, not on anywhere. I don't know. He was having
that's
problems with it,
Yeah.
and he was trying to show me quick, but
Oh, I see it. It's on SNSN.
okay.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it should be on Mike's page. It should be on. I don't know if it got on Facebook or not.
Yeah, it's on Facebook.
Is it?
Yep.
Good.
But no, it's. I think we get the CERT program rolling. It's stuff, incidents like that would be really helpful to have a part of, like Voluntown, Franklin.
Yeah.
The same day that I was up there.
That's right. There was one there for Franklin.
That's the same day Voluntown started.
So when you
Yeah.
say a regional team, you're not talking about a specific team in this time. You're talking about
Yeah, I mean, the whole point of Griswold having a team
Well,
wasn't meaning it was only Griswold. Griswold would just be the host. It would-
correct.
yeah, so because we're here, we're the center part of Region 4, makes sense to have Griswold as
Why
the-
not be a leader instead of a
yeah, and that was
follower?
my thing. Be a leader and show that, hey, we're taking advantage of this. We're going to do something we know is needed. We're going to take the role. We're going to start it.
Yeah, that made a lot of sense.
But and it would basically be anybody from other towns comes here and they're a part of a team.
Yep.
And the
mean-
funds, Griswold doesn't pay a dime into it. They get reimbursed every penny they make or spend on it.
Yep.
So, it just
mean-
Griswold's not paying for them to be trained. Griswold is just putting the front money up to have the class, and they get reimbursed very easily by Region 4.
Yeah.
So, and the
I
state.
mean, even when I was watching some of the video from Florida,
Mm-hmm.
they had search teams down in Florida helping out the first responders.
Yeah.
Walking,
Yeah.
checking the areas after the storm went through and making sure everything.
Right.
But they had search teams down there,
Mhm.
and I'm sure. And if you look at some of the video from North Carolina and Virginia and Tennessee, there were search teams up there as well.
Mhm.
You can't do it alone.
No. Well, not only that, especially in North Carolina, a lot of neighbors helping neighbors, and that,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
And that's what CERT is,
Well,
basically.
yeah,
Help
true.
neighbors helping neighbors.
yeah, it's all it is, but you just got a little bit more
They get
training.
extra training. Right.
Yeah.
And they can help with the EOC. They can help with the shelters. They can help with all that stuff. And it's a very big asset because we don't have the infrastructure in Griswold. Should we have a disaster like even Berlin?
If we ever had a disaster like one of those, we'd be in deep shit.
Yeah. So this takes, CERT helps take the place of that. And it wouldn't be a ton of people coming. It'll be whatever you need, honestly,
Yeah.
because it would be a regional asset. And if we don't, I think we had 14 people signed up to be part of Griswold's.
Yeah.
You were several months ago. You were going around and
Yeah, we got
doing
a
presentation, right?
Yeah, we got a sign up list, and now I hope they're still interested. But it would be also Putnam's team helping out. It would be
Of course.
any other team that's
Yeah.
can help out. Like the one that I got served food by was from Farmington.
Yeah, it's
That was in
Farmington.
Berlin.
Yeah, they had it on TV. They just showed the CERT team
Yeah.
from Farmington on TV.
Yeah, and they had trucks and everything,
Yeah,
which is not normal.
Yeah.
So
You know, and the other thing is to have these people you can set up like shifts, so nobody's there 24 hours. You know?
exactly.
Yeah.
So you have
Yeah.
14. You have 2 people a shift to help serve food or something. It was
Yeah.
only 3 or 4 people that was from CERT from Farmington, but they weren't the same people from the 2 days before that.
yeah. It's an organized volunteer group. Where right now, what do we have? A bunch of people who volunteer, but they're not going to be there 24/7. They can't be.
That's not possible.
It's
No.
impossible.
Yeah, which is why you need all the assets,
That's why you
all the
need,
help.
yeah, that's why you need the numbers so you can
Yeah, of course.
work shifts on that. You know,
Yeah.
nobody can fight and dig trails and cut
course.
down trees and all that stuff.
Yeah.
24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It ain't happening. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like when I was doing logistics, part of the IMT team, the idea of that is we set up the next day's plan. So the first day I was there was on documentation. And I was responsible for developing the plan for the following day and that night before. So we just basically say, what are the people we have coming, what towns, how many people, and then you can set up the incident action plan for the nighttime and then the next day and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's that way you're rotating people in and out.
well, it's the same thing, we did in the electrical side of the thing, right? You had an incident,
Yeah.
you had to staff
Develop
the
a
people,
plan, right?
You got a
Right.
staff during
Yeah.
the day, and then you have another
And
staff
then
at night.
people would call in or people would show up and you say, okay, we're going to keep you guys here. We're going to send you guys home, come
Yep.
back at this time, get
Yep.
some rest, come back.
Yep.
Yep.
Then you start
Exactly.
rotating the shift till the event's over with.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
all the same idea. Yeah.
yeah,
same
because the
process.
night shift would usually get stuff ready for the people for the first shift, so they knew where to go.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then make
That's
sure we
how-
have the
yeah.
equipment there for them.
Yep.
We have the
That's how it
food
works.
and safety stuff in place. All that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Because fire doesn't sleep.
Right. She's burning.
no,
I
it's not
burned.
just fire. It could be,
And as I was seeing, it burns better at night.
yeah, it could be not just a fire, but it could be a storm that's taking down stuff and people
Right.
are homeless, and
Yeah,
you don't
flooding
know.
or whatever.
It could be any kind of disaster.
Yeah, true. Very true.
Yep.
You know.
The hurricanes, they don't have.
Hurricanes, I mean, floods. You
Yeah.
know, you were right next to the Quinnebog out here. I mean, who knows what could happen up north and all that crap.
Well,
come
as
out.
we were seeing around here, winter storms
Yeah,
that take power out.
absolutely.
People are used to having electricity, heat, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like one of the big things on the last drill we had, the IEP, we figured out biggest concern people have are the charging stations.
Yeah.
How am I going to keep my phone charged? That's exactly what. Now they have
Yeah.
charging stations for shelters.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it's all that stuff comes down into
You know.
planning.
Yeah, well, until it happens to you, you don't care. Unfortunately, that's the way some people think.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, a
Yeah.
lot of these big floods happen every 100 years, right?
Yeah. We're having them every year now.
So now we're having quite a few of them.
Yeah. What were they saying? The last thing I was reading about was the 1,000-year storm is now like the 20-year storm.
Yeah.
It's all going to be getting worse and worse. The weather's going to, the climate's changing, so we have to change with it. That's
Yeah.
we have to plan for that.
Hmm.
Like flood zones changed. They're not the same as they used to be. All that.
Yep.
So we have to start thinking about that and acting towards it.
Yeah. I mean, that's true because years ago when they had the big floods many, many years ago, they did a lot of work to prevent it. Like in Hartford, they put in all those dikes and everything. All the water goes under Hartford now.
Yep.
And they learned that from the flood. I mean, now we haven't done anything in years, right?
Yeah, and some of these dams, so-called dams we've got, are falling apart. They haven't been kept up.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you get these floods. They're supposed to hold the water back, and they don't.
I mean,
What happened in Norwich, right?
Well, yeah, that was
Yeah,
a prime example
Basra.
of a dam that the guy was maintained by a private person and didn't maintain the damn thing. And look what happened look what happened to Norwich Town there.
Yeah.
All that water came down.
And they have actually evacuated part of Basra because they thought the one over there was going to blow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So
it's
disaster can happen.
that's one thing I
anytime.
do have to work on is the dam disaster plan, emergency plan. For
That damn disaster plan.
that was
Pretty
good.
good.
So
But
anyway, so got a lot to think about,
Yeah.
and it's good we got somebody looking out for everything. Rich,
Yeah.
thank you.
Do what I can do.
How was your Halloween? What'd you do? Anything special?
We had
I-
Jewish
I-
City pizza.
I didn't do anything on Halloween.
Nothing? You didn't go trick or treating?
No kids came to your door or nothing?
No.
No?
Not good.
Really?
I'm not going to the grouchy old guy's house.
No kids come to the door. I mean,
Really?
I bought a bag of candy just in case, and I do it every year. But no,
Hmm.
they don't show
I
up.
didn't see
Years ago when the kids were small, yeah, but now
I mean, it could have been here, but I didn't see a ton of kids out. I saw a good
I
amount,
think,
but
yeah,
not a
I
ton.
think a lot of people rather
Yeah.
take their kids to a party rather than have their kids go out.
Yeah,
Unless you live in
that
a
is becoming more popular.
unless you live like in a a housing neighborhood where you get a lot of housing.
Like the neighborhood you went to, right?
Yeah, Kenwood
That's
was,
different.
I don't know, 300-400
Yeah,
people
that's
there.
different.
That
Because
was.
you're in a neighborhood of a lot of
It's
housing.
safe. Yeah, it's
Well,
closed
a lot
up.
of people go there because my daughter lives right across the street from Padua, owns American Industries there, and
Yeah.
he's always got a big thing
Yeah.
set up, big Halloween set up, so you can walk up his driveway, see everything. A lot of people are attracted to that,
Yeah.
and my daughter's house is pretty much decked out too,
Yeah.
pretty well. So,
Hmm.
and there's a couple other houses in there that are very well set up,
Yeah.
and they do the same thing for Christmas.
Yeah.
So,
Nice. So we can go there for
but
Christmas.
it's, you can drive
Yeah.
through there.
Yeah.
You can drive through his driveway in Christmas too, but you don't get any candy.
Oh, what's up with that?
Because you know what today is.
November 1st?
What's November 1st? Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead.
Oh, that's a Mexican thing, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Uh,
So if you're Mexican or come from Mexico, this is the day they celebrate the dead. They go
This-
into their places and take the bones out, clean them up,
Hmm.
do all that kind of stuff. So big
Is that where they
holiday.
do the parades with all the masks
Yeah,
and
it's big
stuff?
parade.
And, yeah.
Day of the Dead.
It's like All Hallows Eve.
Yeah.
Wow.
wow. Yeah.
It's,
So it was and then at my neighborhood, I wasn't there because I was at my daughter's neighborhood.
Ah.
I ran into one of the neighbors this morning. He said there's maybe 100 kids came through that neighborhood.
That's still not bad.
No, when we first moved in there, that used to get a lot.
Like our neighborhood, we don't get a lot.
well,
I wouldn't say it's a
like
lot, but
yeah.
we get some, but not
Yeah.
what I would consider a lot. Like when we were younger.
Yeah.
Yep.
'Cause, once your kids grow up, they don't have friends anymore.
Yeah.
Usually when your kids are small, they bring their friends. The friends come over your
Group of
house.
20.
We had a bunch of high schoolers still walking around.
Yeah.
Well,
Ryan
that's-
came
yeah.
home from Maine.
Yeah.
Yeah, they,
For
still,
Halloween.
they still do that.
There's still a bunch of high. They didn't have any bags. They just held out their hands. Probably ate,
Yeah.
it, probably ate it on their walk
I
walk
would.
around.
Yeah. We got time for that. We're going to carry it when we can eat it.
So
No, I think you're right though. I think a lot of them are going to parties now, and then
Yeah.
it's a lot safer.
There's all the crappy stuff that used to happen with these kids. You know, people would give them apples, but razor
Laxatives.
blades and laxative. So people in the fire departments did a lot of the parties.
Yeah.
You know, so, yeah.
Yeah.
We had people handing candy out, I think, but
Yeah.
I think a couple people sat
Yeah.
out there and handed
Yeah.
candy out at the
A
firehouse.
lot of
Firehouse,
people are
yeah.
cautious. Excuse me, you know, going to strange
Well, we're
places.
just walking the street alone. It's
Yeah.
just
It's not good.
you didn't have to worry about that where we were at. There's a lot of people there.
Well, I think that's why they go to
So-
the neighborhoods you were at because
Yeah.
it's closed off.
Yeah.
And then like Kenwood, they put one side parking for safety, so the
Yeah.
people could
That was the
walk.
first
and
year we
stuff.
did that because after I'd been there a couple of years, I worked with the first selectman on that, and she got to go to the HOA, and they did that this year, and
Nice,
that worked out really well.
nice.
People were able to move around, cars were able to move through. A lot of the cars are pretty slow, watching out for people. So,
Yeah,
worked out really well.
that was Bethel.
When we left, it was fairly cleared out by then, but I assume from what I heard, Bethel was pretty much
Yeah, I heard that was one lane.
jammed up. Yeah, you had to drive down the center of the road pretty much because they're
Yeah.
parking on both sides. So
Have to do that next year.
it's the same, it's the same. You know, it's so that we kind of figured if you're going to isolate one lane in the neighborhood, they were going to park somewhere, right?
It's
where are they gonna
inevitable,
park,
yeah.
Right. So they're going to. It's not only going to be a smaller stretch on Bethel; it's going to be a longer stretch on Bethel. It's going to have a problem.
It's better than where the kids are walking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
No, sounds like everything went over very well. So
Mm.
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is good.
I didn't hear of any
I didn't-
accidents
No.
or no injuries.
Not our
so
area.
That's
Good.
that's good.
They had some burns a couple places. Thompson burned pretty good last night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they had a house and turned into a brush fire, took out vehicles and
Oh,
stuff, and people burning little stuff everywhere. Even though it's
we
Shouldn't
put it.
be.
We've been putting it out.
Yeah.
State's put it out for a week now. No burning, and that, when I drove back from Kenwood through my neighborhood, there was a couple people with some fire pits in their driveways burning, and it's like, really? Nobody pays attention, I guess.
like, well, when the
going on?
cop shows up and you get arrested,
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. I mean, this
Needs to
doesn't happen that often that we get this dry, right?
No.
So
and they've had warning.
yeah,
It's like no one can say they weren't told.
right. So you get told, you get warned, and it's been nice so far because you get one warning, and then if you're caught again, then
Well,
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people realize that you have to have a permit to burn. I really don't.
No, which is why actually with the ordinance committee, I might put out a request to do a burn ordinance
burn ordinance.
because the state in this period here, a lot of them were saying refer to your town ordinance, which we don't have.
So we don't have anything.
No.
So I asked Fred if there was something we could put out on our page to tell people, not only is it permits to burn, it's stoves.
Right.
I don't think people realize that if you put a wood stove in, it should be inspected.
Well, yeah, it should be. But if it's a
But-
private residence, you don't have to have it inspected all the time.
Yeah, but the one thing about I noticed on the one that I have every now and then is I have a pellet stove.
Mhm.
It goes out the side, and I can see it where a couple sparks will go out.
Mhm.
And it makes me kind of nervous, so I kind of make sure I go out there and clean it. So
Yeah.
those kinds of stoves that go out the side, it's close to the house.
Yep.
So if you get a couple sparks going out,
Well, even your, which I know a lot of people don't realize because we go to chimney fires every year. It's actually turning into chimney fire season. Is every year your chimney should be cleaned.
yes,
Yeah, soot builds up after so
The
long.
creosote goes up.
Yeah.
yeah,
And I've been to fires, the chimney fires, where we put the steel chains down with the ball, and it's 100% clogged. You have to literally
Really?
take a poke through a hole
Yeah.
through all the creosote in there.
yeah. When I was burning wood, I had the metal spikes.
Yep.
So I drop a rope down to the chimney, get down and pull it, and then I go up on top and pull it back up. And,
Yep.
kept going back and forth till I cleaned it.
Yep.
You know.
That's how the professional guy's going to come out. But I think a professional one doing it, they know they're going to
They
get
got the
100%
poles.
clean. Yeah.
Because you can buy the poles to attach
Right.
to it, and you can just keep
Yeah.
going down and back and forth. Yeah,
But I think that's important. But
yeah.
a what I was thinking with the town burn ordinance, though, is we do have a burn warden, which is what the deputy fire marshal. He's responsible. You have to go get burn permits from him if you're burning open burning, which means it's not a cooking pit.
Yep.
Where cooking pit is completely surrounded by rock. You have a hose standing by, and you can cook over that.
Oh.
And it's not big. Open burning, it's not in a pit. It's not surrounded by rock, and you can't burn leaves. You can't burn in a 55-gallon drum, even though people think they can. You can. That's illegal. You can't. You have to burn basic sticks. You can't burn leaves. That's not allowed.
Well, only because they're going to fly up.
It's exactly the reason they're going to fly away.
Yeah.
You can burn sticks. You can't burn lumber that you build houses with. It's treated, so it's not natural anymore.
Oh, really?
Yep. No construction materials.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, because the chemicals are going to come out of the wood. You breathe it in.
You're right.
So
Yeah.
all that's illegal. So if the fire department responds, technically you can be arrested for reckless burning.
Really? Wow.
All the fire chief has to do is call a state trooper and boom, reckless burning.
Wow.
But usually right now they give a warning.
They're being nice, which I don't know why, but they are.
Yeah.
It's a danger to the public. You're endangering everybody else.
Oh
in the
yeah,
public.
you're endangering your neighbor.
Right.
Everything
They don't
else
have to.
doing it.
You look
Yeah.
at the guy in Plainfield. He gave the fire chief a hard time, and he ended up in handcuffs. See you later.
Yeah, there's one guy that gave him a hard time in town here.
Yeah.
So yeah, these people are volunteers and they're getting given a hard time trying to keep people safe. So
Well,
You
it's
know.
unfortunate. That's the way some people
You
are in
look at
today's
it.
world.
House in Montville burned last week. Started as a brush fire, quickly extended to the house, and they lost part of the house.
You know, and that's what people should think about. Think of the fires we had in California where all those houses got burned as a result of a forest fire.
Yeah.
You would think that people would have something in their head that would say, yeah, find this thing, let's go, it's going to go.
Well, I honestly think it's the whole mentality. Never happened here. I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
That's the whole. Until it happens, like you said, until it happens, we don't think about it.
Yep.
Right.
But
Oh, well.
you know, we drive around, and we see something. We're gonna tell you can't have that fire.
Well, hopefully there's no rain in sight.
2 weeks.
Yeah, there's no rain in sight.
When I was at the incident in Berlin, we did a forecast. The state put a forecast out. And they're saying you're looking at a minimum of 2 weeks before the next rain is even possible to have enough.
Wow.
And you're going to have days of complete just rain for it to get enough rain into the ground.
And maybe we're going to get 2-3 feet of snow.
I heard that's possible.
Yeah.
Kathy would just love that, won't she?
She's looking forward to it.
She look forward to it. She's got her
Getting her onesies
snowshoes
out.
ready to go and sled ready to go.
Sled.
Slide down Taylor Hill or whatever.
3 feet of snow, you'll be 3 feet down.
Maybe she can slide down, Ashland Street and say hi to Mike as he goes by.
Yeah.
Well, you laugh about 3 feet of snow. I remember during the blizzard of '78, there was
3 feet, right?
3 feet of snow on Taylor Hill
Was it
because of the wind.
10 years ago we had 2 feet?
Yeah.
I think it was.
We
That
had
one
one not
storm?
long ago, a couple of years ago. It was
Over a foot.
a foot and a half.
Depending
2
on where
feet,
you were, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
possible, but
Oh, yeah.
That was the one we came home early. We were down in Disney and they were talking about the snowstorm. So we came home a couple days early
really.
to beat it, because we didn't we didn't want, some of us were thinking of just staying an extra couple days
I
down
would.
there. Yeah. Most of us were, let's just get another room at another hotel for a couple of days and stay down there. It's like,
Well, it's going to be cooling down over the weekend, but then it's going to warm again in the 70s next week.
Really?
Yeah. I think Tuesday, Wednesday, it
The
goes
hell's the
back up
winter?
to 70 degrees.
I'll tell you what's great though, since it's so dry, my golf ball's getting a lot of run on the golf
There you
course.
go.
So in the fairways there, I'll tell you that.
Well, now that you're done making
Hard as a
Wayne's
rock.
Millions,
The golf course is hard as a rock. There's no rain, but the grass is dying. So
Yeah.
now that you're retired again, you can do that. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it was interesting going back for a month.
learned a lot.
I taught a lot.
Mm-hmm.
shared some experience. I'm going back. It was just it's amazing the turnover that's happening right now there. That and I'm sure it's a lot of places that few and far between people I recognize. I showed up there and half the people in the shop that I was helping, half of them I didn't even know.
Yeah.
That's
A lot of people have retired or left or
Yeah.
whatever. So
Well, I thought about you the other night because Millstone Security called dispatch.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, so you know, we're going to be releasing containment, so they're going to have that loud boom. Like, guys, like I'm working midnight shift. You're releasing like your containment.
When I went to one luncheon with a bunch of guys who retired, and they told me that 45% of the people that used to work at Urban Stores are gone.
Yeah.
Everybody here now has got 5 years or less.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Definitely seems like it.
Yeah.
yeah, that's probably because they were doing their leak rate test and containment.
Yeah.
They had to do that.
Yeah, they
it's like a 10-year test they have to do. Something like that.
I know, like every shutdown, they call and they release something from containment steam or something, where it makes a loud boom out of the stacks.
Oh, that you're probably talking about the relief valve testing then.
But like midnights, they're
Yeah.
like, oh, you might get some calls. I'm like, yeah, why would anybody worry about the loud explosion in the middle of the night at Millstone? I mean, that's sounds like a day shift job. I know you probably don't have a choice, probably, right?
It's all
From
in
the
the schedule.
machines and stuff.
Hey, Victoria's listening. Good morning, Victoria. She says, "Hi, gentlemen." Must be talking
Where?
to you guys.
Oh, I was gonna say, what? Someone behind us?
Yeah. So, yeah, it's interesting work, which is something that I have not heard. I've heard from the candidates. I haven't heard anybody. I heard some minor talk about the energy issues in this country. So it's one of those things that's just sitting in the background. Nobody's really talking about, but it's something that they need to start looking at and going after because a lot of the plants in this country are getting older.
Well, they just renewed
They don't care.
one of them, right? Didn't they just renew a plant somewhere?
Yeah, there's always licensing renewals and
Yeah.
stuff like that for these plants, but that doesn't mean that they're going to last.
What's
Yeah.
the life expectancy?
Originally, it's 40 years.
So we got to be close with Millstone.
Millstone's past 40 years. Actually,
So they're on
unit 3's at 40 years or coming at it in another year, and Unit 2's at 50 almost.
How long can they extend them for?
They've extended Unit 2 and 3 20 years. So they're both at 60 right now.
One is shut down, right?
Yeah.
And Unit 1 shut down.
Yeah.
And they're doing a lot of that, license extensions. And
Yeah, because I remember when I was working at Northeast, they owned them.
Mm-hmm.
And every nickel and dollar that they got went into Millstone. And everything went to Millstone. We couldn't do anything.
Victoria says outages suck.
Yes.
Well, 'cause
refuels. Well, we call them refuels, but
Yeah, but look at the money you're making.
I can't complain.
Of course not. Of course not.
I made some good money. I added to my Malin's millions, as Mike likes to call
Sure.
them. But
I mean, come on, that's good money.
I think it's because Victoria misses her husband. That's what it is. It's all about.
Yeah.
My wife's ready to kick me out the door. Go make some more money.
Well, I was gonna say she doesn't like him going to work.
Yeah. I mean,
Kathy
good money.
reminds me, don't you have to go to work?
Because a lot of guys that used to work at Northeast at the time when I was there would take off and go down and work the outage.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And we're finding a lot of that in the newer, younger generations now. A lot of them don't want to work those hours. You're doing 72 hours a week.
Which surprises me.
During
Lucas,
an
he's
outage.
very happy to go work all those outage hours.
I saw him once or twice.
Yeah.
While I was there, and
Mhm.
he was walking in, I was walking out, saying, "How's it going?"
Yeah.
He's walking in on day shift. I'm leaving night
He
shift.
working the outage 12-hour days for the 5 days a week at least.
Operations
6 days.
Yeah, operations is on a different
I think he said
rotation.
it's 6 days, I think.
Yeah.
And then he actually spent one of his days helping with the brush fire
Yeah.
at Voluntown
Yeah.
in Franklin. So, like,
Yeah. So, yeah.
he's busting his butt. And he's one of the younger ones.
Yep.
One of the new
I mean, I'm not saying
generation.
all of them are.
No, I'm saying.
But some
my
of them
point was, I'm
like the work.
surprised.
Some of them like that.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. I did it for 37 years. It was a great career.
Mhm.
Paul did it for a long time at EverSource.
Yeah.
Or CLMP, whatever
Yeah.
it was at the time.
My main point was I was surprised that he is that way because we have a new girl at my job that doesn't work an ounce of overtime at all.
Well,
and
a
our
lot
money,
of them don't.
our money from overtime goes into our pension. It actually counts towards our pension.
You still have a pension? Does she have a
Yeah.
pension? Yeah.
Yep.
So, which is interesting because Dominion doesn't have a pension anymore since
Ours goes to
2008.
state pension.
Yeah, unless you're grandfathered in.
Yeah.
We're on this old state pension. So
Yeah.
we,
So
we
I-
kept ours going.
I find it interesting. I don't know if you've been following the Boeing strike,
I've seen it.
but they.
I don't know what the main arguments are.
I haven't really in the last day or two seen what's going on. It's
I know-
they've turned down huge raises because they want their pensions back.
Okay, so it's a pension issue
It's
as
a
well
pension
as wages.
issue, and I think
Okay.
you're going to see a turn about on that because a lot of people want to see their pensions because
They need them.
well, they keep giving you a little bit more extra towards your 401k or whatever plan they have, but that all rides on what Wall Street and the
Yeah.
stocks and all that stuff.
That's why I'm
So it's
happy
like-
to have my pension.
No, I had my pension and even 401k during COVID took a bath,
Mm-hmm.
right?
So
So
when the market crashed in, I want to say was it the 80s?
Yeah.
My father lost his whole pension, almost $1 million.
Yep.
I had to start from scratch.
so
So it's
Yeah, I'm kind of glad I got a pension because when I was, when you're young like that, you ain't got time to save money when you're
Right.
raising a family.
look for your phone.
I didn't hear a bang,
That
so
was a
we're
big
good.
squeal.
We're good. But when you're
I mean,
young like
let me think
that,
about it. You just heard a squeal like that. How fast were they going?
pretty fast.
Oh, at least 40.
Down a 25-mile
Yeah.
an hour road.
But think about it when you're young, when you're working like that, and you're raising a young family. How the hell are you going to save money
Oh, it's impossible.
today? How are people put money in their 401ks?
You're going to be in
really?
a hole.
I mean, yeah. So having a pension is
Well, I will tell you this: if you're young and you're starting out, even if I think there was a minimum of 3% when I started.
they
You had to
put it
do-
in.
and they put in
Yeah.
like 1.5.
Yeah.
So the minimum was 3% at Dominion, it was in Northeast at the time, and then they matched 1.5.
Yeah.
So if you could at least do that, I would do that. The younger you are, the more you put into it, the better off you're going to be as you get older and you get to that 65-year-old age, and it'll grow, and you're going to have your ups and downs through the years with the stock market and everything like that,
Yep.
with the economy and everything. But
Yeah.
right now without pensions, you got to have something because Social Security ain't going to cut it.
Oh,
right
so
now,
that won't cut it.
Social Security may not be around
I
after
was going to say it's going to be gone by
2035.
then, yeah.
Well, I don't think it'll be gone. If that goes away, you're going to see a big problem. You think
Yeah.
January 6th was bad?
Oh, that's what I'm planning on.
There's a lot of people that are because they look at it as an extra tax, right?
Yeah.
Really?
But they don't look at the problem I'm seeing is they don't look down the road.
Nope.
They don't look in the future. Like I'm saying, the young generation coming into our jobs, like the job I do, they're not married. They don't have kids yet. Most of them. Now, some of them do, but most of them, we tell them, work your overtime now. Do your 100,000 something a year to make, because when you have kids and you have a family, you're not going to
Yep.
want to work the overtime. You're going to be
Right.
forced to, but that's only once or twice, maybe a week or a month.
Yep.
Versus doing your 40 to 80 hours a week, you're making your 100,000 something a year. We get 50. We do 25 years. We get 50% of our highest 3 years averaged out. So you're going to be making a normal wage, or it's
Yeah.
actually with our cost of living, part-time wage. But you're getting something after versus not making any money at all.
Right.
But with our pension, Social Security counts against it. So when I get to the Social Security age, I'll be able to get Social Security, but it's going to deduct from my pension
Why is that?
because they balance each other out. That's the way the law's set up.
No,
You get penalized, basically.
I didn't get penalized.
Nope. No, it was additional.
Yeah, we don't get
But-
an addition. They deduct it.
All I know is that when I collected, after a certain year, in other words, 65, 66, then you could work as much as you want and you didn't get penalized. If you retired prior to that, then it would take away from your Social Security.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
once I got over that age, you could work as many hours as you wanted and it didn't do anything.
Yeah,
No, you're
Dan-
probably good at 65.
Mine was 65.
Yeah.
but also with
So
our
mine's
pension-
66 and 8 months.
Also with our pension, if we're collecting our pension, we can't work in the same town that also has the same pension plan.
Really?
We can't have a second job that works in the same town.
Really?
Yep,
Double dipping.
double dipping. Yeah,
Wow.
And
Well,
yeah.
So anyway,
I work
Victoria
for-
says her husband's
I
doing
work-
5 12s plus a few extra hours, but it should be coming to an end. I was texting with somebody that looks like that's coming into an end in another 3-4 days, hopefully.
Was that close, huh?
Yeah.
Because when I was working, when I retired, I worked as a contractor and still was collecting Social Security and a pension. Then I got hired back, and I was still collecting a pension, collecting Social Security,
Mm-hmm.
and collecting salary.
Yeah, that's the problem we have with our pension, though. Is you,
Wow.
but
Those different plans.
yeah, we're falling under CMERS. The state actually got rid of their pension.
They're
They don't
looking-
have a pension anymore.
Yeah,
They
they're
have
looking
retirement
at that
plans.
now, I think. I thought I saw something where they're looking into the pension plans of the state.
They actually, as far as they might call them a pension, but they got rid of the old ones. Now there's a lot of different tiers.
Yeah.
Didn't they have a problem a few
Yeah,
years
they
ago
weren't.
or something?
They weren't putting the money into the pension
Yeah.
plans.
Some fraud going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you should have a committee that's of all the unions and the administrators that have. We had that in New London until we
Independent-
found out New
independent
London was
committee?
stealing it.
Yeah. Well,
That's how we found out New London was stealing it. Because they were canceling the meetings and they were putting people from the administration in there
mhm.
that did not qualify to collect a pension. And
No.
so we decided to go to the state plan because all the state does now is send them an invoice. This is what you pay. Boom, done. You have to pay it.
Wow.
Done. That's the way it is.
The way it is.
So,
Yep.
all right.
Oh.
What else you want to talk about? Got anything coming up here soon? At
Yeah,
The-
I'm
but
getting
the-
sick of hearing all these goddamn political ads.
But,
Jesus.
What?
Man.
you tired
yeah, I
of it?
know. I'm
Oh,
tired. Yeah, I'm getting tired
I
of it.
did
too.
this and I did that and I did this and I did
And
that.
I'm getting
and I
tired
did
of the
this.
angry sentiment going, back and forth. And
Oh,
and
my
now you're
God.
starting to see what, certain campaigns started out happy and joyful, and now it's turning ugly.
Yeah,
It's turned ugly now.
that's typical.
Now it's turning
Yeah.
backs against the wall. They're not looking like in the numbers, and now they're calling us names, everything like that, and
Well, I'm not
pointing at
even-
everything. But I still don't know what they're
Well, that's
going to do for the
to me,
country.
I'm not registered as a Democrat or a Republican, but I think the President of the United States coming out and calling the opposite campaign garbage people when he is supposed to be the person that keeps everybody supposed to be united.
That
That's
shows
the
you.
friggin' problem today with these politicians.
Mhm.
They want to separate everybody. That was a big ass mistake that guy made. Of course, you got to understand the guy isn't all there anyway. So
I don't think he realized what he's saying.
he probably
Yeah.
doesn't. But to me, that was a bad thing that he came out and said. He shouldn't be out in public at all.
I
He
don't.
shouldn't be in office at
Yeah.
all.
I know. Well,
He shouldn't be there.
Yeah, I hear you.
Right. So we got a guy who's got some issues running the country, right? Or he hasn't been running the country for a while.
Anyway,
He's been told what to do, and it's going to be the same thing if she gets in. She's going to be told what to do. It's going to be the same old, same old. She's not going to change
You
anything.
know what's going to drive me nuts?
What?
If she wins, is all the freaking giggling that she's going to be doing.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
That's
embarrassing.
I'm not going to be able to watch any news
No.
conferences. I as a matter of fact, I don't really watch much of Trump's news conferences.
I don't watch
either.
any of it.
You
I
know,
do if I want to laugh, but
I actually enjoy watching him getting interviewed and actually doing I've watched some of his interviews, and they've actually been pretty good.
he's gotten better.
And the thing is he sat in front of Bloomberg getting interviewed and telling them that they're wrong about this and wrong about that, and he explains why. Why
he's-
higher
I
tariffs are
think
going
he's
to be
got a
good for the
hammer now.
But the thing is, she couldn't do that. She couldn't get in front of Bloomberg and talk about tariffs and taxes and economy and
Probably have to be explained what a
Wall
tariff
Street
is.
and stuff like that. She wouldn't be able to do that.
I think Trump got a handler. I think he learned from the last time, and someone's handling him a little bit now, where he's listening.
Well,
to.
I think between that and getting shot at,
humbled.
and you got humbled a little bit, and some of the things he's doing are kind of humorous, like the McDonald's thing, and now the garbage truck thing.
That's getting him points.
and it's kind of humorous.
I think what both sides, even his side, doesn't realize is even the negative press you're giving the other candidate,
hmm
you're giving them free press.
Yeah.
You're giving them power either way.
Yeah.
So,
So The thing I laugh at is that the state of the mind of the president's in right now, and now they're saying the same thing about Trump.
Oh, they're just
Questioning
playing the
his
game.
blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah.
They're-
So
It's a stunt.
it's like
Mhm.
just stop it already. He's
He
unhinged
can walk.
and he's
He doesn't have to have
Crazy.
someone holding him by the hand, taking him different
and it's
places.
like really just
Yeah.
stop it already.
Like I
It's-
said before,
nobody's buying it.
like I
I've
said-
not bought
Like
anything.
I said 100 times on here before, like I kind of feel bad for the dude because
Who?
he
Joe?
Biden,
Yeah,
because he doesn't have any control over.
I felt bad for him for the
And
last year or so
honestly,
because
his wife
I've
should be
seen my
imprisoned.
dad go through it, and
Yeah.
it's not a pretty thing.
Yeah.
So it's
His wife should be imprisoned.
but the people that have supported this should actually be tossed out because they're leaving the country in a weakened state.
Yeah.
And if you look at the oath of office that they take, they're supposed to defend
Sound
and
mind.
protect the Constitution of the United States,
I think the
And-
beginning says sound mind.
right? It might be.
Yeah.
I don't have the Constitution. I read through it the other day, and the stuff that we're going
Well,
through with
I'm
the
talking about
voting
the oath, yeah.
and the voting and all that stuff. When
Yeah.
you take that oath, you're supposed to defend
Mhm.
and protect the Constitution of the United States, which means the people too,
Mhm.
which means you haven't done that by opening up the border and letting all these
Yeah.
people in unvetted,
Mhm.
and we've lost some American citizens due to some of these criminals,
Mhm.
right? So how can you justify that?
Yeah, we can't.
Well,
I don't know
you
how
can't.
they could possibly even try, but
So
Well, 3 or 4 more days and we get rid of it.
maybe.
Maybe. I honestly don't think that you will find that there will be election results on Tuesday. It's going to take.
I've heard 2, 3, 4 days.
It's going to take.
well, they've already found problems with the election.
Yeah.
Already. Some
Yeah.
of the voting areas and stuff
Yeah.
like that. One guy in Oregon and Washington blowing up a couple,
Mm-hmm.
ballot boxes, and you've got
Yep.
some ballots that some people have said they were illegal or whatever like that. And now you got Virginia clearing their roster polls, and
What happened there? I didn't. What did Virginia? What?
Virginia is cleaning up their polls from people that are not citizens or stuff like that. So they're going through their polls, seeing who's citizens, who's not citizens,
Oh,
and
okay.
cleaning them up.
All right.
Because if you look at the Constitution, you're supposed to be a citizen.
Yeah.
And it's none of this. Oh, we're going to give you a pass real quick,
Yeah.
like they did for 700,000 illegal immigrants. They gave them like a
Should have a
temporary
citizen card.
visa or
Yeah.
whatever the heck, right? Just to get them to vote. That's nonsense. And you should be showing your ID. This
Yeah.
whole nonsense about not showing an ID is crap.
Mhm.
I've been showing my ID since I started voting in 1976.
Well, like we said the other night, you got to show an ID to buy alcohol, cigarettes.
Gotta show
Why
an
can't
ID
you
to get on a
do the
plane.
vote?
Got to show an ID to get on a plane,
Right.
right?
To me, it's just common sense.
And
I
the
don't-
more they water this down, the more they're taking your rights away as a citizen, as far as I'm
Mhm.
concerned,
That's the game right there.
right? Watering down your voting power when they do that.
Mhm.
So, if anything, you should be upset about that because that is your biggest thing you can do as an American citizen is vote
Yeah.
who you want to run the country.
All I know
Who do
is
you want to run your town? Who do you want to run your state?
I am going to take so many shows over the next couple of days. So come Tuesday, I don't have to turn on and listen to any of that crap.
It's going to tape over your shows.
I'm not going to listen to any of that crap. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear any bullshit.
Let's see. Victoria's the only one commenting on here that I see. I don't have
Missing
Riddle
the
News
other
and
ones,
notes.
yeah.
Let's see. Victoria says, got to watch out for those garbage trucks. It says, watch the Joe Rogan conversation with J.D. Vance. It is great. He's well spoken. I'll tell you what, J.D. Vance,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if Trump gets in,
Yeah.
he does his 4 years and he'll leave. No doubt about it. He's not going to stay
Well, you
in.
can't legally.
And J.D. Vance will be the next guy running for the
Yeah.
Republicans.
I was impressed by him. I heard a lot of
Yeah.
bad things about him in the beginning, but I've watched his.
And I'm going to bet you right here, I'll bet you dinner at any restaurant you want.
it's my turn anyway.
Anyway, either one of you, that they're going to come up with the same stupid rhetoric.
Oh yeah. His
His
mother was
a
a
Trump
drug
Jr.
addict.
and this
Yeah.
and that and yada. I'll tell you what, nobody's going to. He's a great debater. I saw him up against Waltz, and he just
Yeah.
wiped the floor with
Just a regular conversation.
him. Right,
Yeah.
and he challenged those people with facts that were trying to say, well, they made some stupid remark, the moderators, and then he challenged them with it to straighten them out, and they didn't want to hear it.
Mhm.
He made them look bad.
Yeah, I thought he was really good at the debate. That was great.
He was excellent.
But you watch some of the podcasts he's on, and I like him because he talks like a normal person.
Yep.
He has normal problems like everybody else did growing up. It
Yep.
wasn't spoon like silver spoon or nothing. Is
I think he came from a lower class family.
very
Truth,
lower class.
You know, so not a middle class.
His
family.
mother was an alcoholic or drug addict.
Yeah.
He had an alcohol problem. He admits it. He talks about it. Like, I think I like him more because he can relate to the everyday person.
Yeah.
So I think he was in the military. He did his time.
And he said something sarcastic about some ladies with cats or something like that, and they were beating him up over that or something like that. He said years ago or some crap. This
They're
is
gonna
what they
find
do.
that with everybody.
This is
you know?
what they do. So
We're gonna find that with everybody.
I don't care. I'll tell you what, that guy had his shit together every
Yeah.
time he gets on. And I saw an interview he had with somebody on CNN, and they were talking about the open borders and what they were going to do with you're going to deport all these people that cross the border, da 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 da, even women and children. And he says, "Well, we're just going to go after the bad guys. You know, we're going to hunt down the bad guys. And we're going to get them out."
Yeah.
And then she's saying, "Well, you know, we're just upset about a couple people or a couple gangs that took over some apartment complexes." And he goes, "Can you hear yourself? Listen to yourself." And it was like, you're saying it's okay for gangs to come in here illegally and kick Americans out of their home? Right. And he said, "You hear yourself?"
Yeah.
It was like, well, she wanted to avoid that whole thing,
I'm sure.
you know, but that was excellent.
If your best argument is it's okay for gangs to come in and rape and pillage the country, then go
Well,
take
no,
their
I
houses
mean,
in Mexico.
And then they're sitting there saying, you know, Trump's going to, you know, ban the abortion. He's never said that.
No, he sent it to the states.
Well,
He sent it to the states.
You know, as much as I'm not into this bullshit, but that is the one big thing they're using
Yeah.
against
Yep.
him is this whole abortion.
Yeah, it's a
They're
lie.
trying to.
Yeah,
and it's
they're
a
using
lie.
That whole abortion.
And he's come out and said he isn't going to do
unfortunately,
that.
There's a lot of women who believe it.
Yeah, that's the sad part.
And you're also, even Murphy is out there saying it's going to threaten the state of Connecticut's abortion rules. Mr. Murphy's saying.
Well, that's one guy that Connecticut needs to boot out.
Did he do that when he was in office?
Murphy's in without a problem.
Yeah, he's unfortunate. I don't know how those guys stay in office.
Connecticut is.
I know it's a heavy Democrat state. I know
So,
that. But like no one that pays attention. What have these guys done to help the state?
I think Courtney's. I'll tell you what, Courtney's Democrat, and I kind of like Courtney.
No, I'm not talking about. I'm just.
I don't have a
Blumenthal and
problem with
Murphy.
him.
Blumenthal
Murphy,
and
I don't know
Murphy.
what he's done.
Right, Blumenthal. All they've done. Their biggest thing is focusing on how taking away people's guns are going to stop these school shootings.
Yep.
That's the only thing they've really focused on.
That's the other thing that's going on with the state senator and the other part, other than Murphy, the other one that's running,
Blumenthal.
the other female that's running. She's running for Congress, and she's saying I did all this stuff, but I did this protection and gun stuff. It was just a murder again in New Haven.
Mm-hmm.
Who's she?
What the hell's her name? It's
Johanna?
Yeah.
Is she a state
Hayes, yeah.
state rep,
No.
state senator, or a federal
No,
senator?
U.S.
U.S. Congressperson?
Okay, yeah, I never heard
She
of
put
her.
all these bills.
Probably because
in.
she's on the other side.
Yeah, she's
but,
saying she put all these bills in. She didn't do it personally. She was just part of the
Co-
vote.
she co-signed
So
them?
Blumenthal and all them made a big deal about this recent gun law they passed, you know, and 2 weeks after that was when you had that, was it Bridgeport or New Haven, had the two cops got ambushed and got killed. There's a third one that got wounded.
Oh, that was
Yeah,
in the
right
town,
at, a couple weeks after that law got passed.
Mhm.
So what did it actually do? It's not, all that does is make it harder for the honest person to get,
It's
a
smoke
gun.
and mirrors. Yeah.
But the criminals are still getting them.
Yeah, but
And we're still in the catch and release program. So we arrest people and release them, and they
Yep.
get back on the street,
Yep.
which has
Like,
happened to some of these illegals that got
happening.
arrested. They got back on the street, and then they murdered or raped some of these women.
Yeah, and then they get arrested enough. Where are they going to go?
Yeah.
Mexico again. They're going to go
I
back
hate
down
to
to
say
Mexico.
it, but you got the other guy running against her. He's a Republican. He ain't going to win because it's all that part of the state are all Democrats.
Well, all the
And
big
Murphy's going to
cities.
get in. This person's going to get in, guaranteed.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I mean, I have an idea, but why all the big cities,
Money.
no matter what, is Democrat.
They're getting a lot of
Yeah.
money pumped in
Yeah.
to get the ads out there and all that stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money from sources.
Well, they're giving all free stuff out so
Right.
people vote for them too.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah, free stuff that comes out of your taxes.
Yep.
People think the prices are going to go down when they get in.
I mean,
It's not going to happen.
they get no. I mean, I hate
gonna
to
get
say
worse.
this word, but they're getting all the grants too.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
you
Hey.
say, you say
All
the G
all
word.
big bucks. All the big
Hey,
bucks.
Kathy's awake. She says, "Good morning."
Yeah.
Yeah, they're getting all the grants because those are the people that vote for them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
because
so-
a lot of this part of the state is red.
Suffers.
Yep.
What happens? You get
Yep.
nothing.
You got to file for them too, though. That's
We got a grant writer.
So a lot of this is smoke and mirrors, like you said,
Yeah.
with the gun laws and everything like that. People should be able to have, it's part of the Second Amendment, right?
Yeah.
Be able to
Yeah.
protect themselves, you know,
and
and
that's why you have it.
they keep saying that he's going to get rid of the Constitution and stuff like that. He's never done that. What do you
Can't do
just look
that.
at his first
Yeah.
4
You
years?
can't get rid of the Constitution.
No, you
I
got
think they call that treason.
yeah. Well, I think open borders
That
borders
falls
on that.
it. Yeah, it borders
You
on
know,
it.
you're letting criminals and enemies into the
Mhm.
country. You're supposed to protect and
And it
defend.
benefits you.
You know, and if
See,
it
that's
benefits
what
you by, you know,
That's where Harris screwed up.
Going to the border.
No, she could have done something for 4 years and showed that she had the capability to do something. You know, she did nothing.
but when they first got in office, they just
Nothing.
got rid of all of his
She coulda did
all of Trump's
something with that
executive
war.
orders.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just wanted to get rid of all that stuff because there's agenda going on,
Good.
right?
But she did
That-
nothing. I think she was told you couldn't do it.
Probably. Most vice presidents are told they can't do
You
anything.
can't do that. She was probably
Well-
told you're doing nothing.
Probably.
Most vice presidents are ceremonial until they have to be put in power.
Yeah.
They have to be told, yeah, you can work on this. Go over there, shut up, and color your book. And
They sit in
Yeah.
the house, and you know, if it's a tie, they make a vote.
yeah,
But she did make one tie vote.
Yeah,
There was one tie that she changed.
but yeah. So I don't know. Let's see. Let's catch up on some comments here. Let's see. Victoria's busy typing away.
Oh boy.
oh jeez.
I said, watch the Joe Rogan conversation with JD Vance. It is great. He's well spoken and articulate.
Mm-hmm.
The Harris Department of Justice is going after Virginia in court because of them removing illegals from the voter rolls. Well, they're sitting there saying they're removing Americans too. Well, they're looking at the paperwork. And if they didn't fill the paper out correctly, because there's a check in the box that you have to check to say you're American citizens or not, right? Because they're the only ones supposed to vote.
Yeah. Makes
Then
sense.
they remove them from the voter rolls, right? And if they are, then go back in because right now they're doing same day registration. So fill out the paperwork, and you know, there you go. And then Victoria says once again, Murphy walks across the state. That's what he does.
Mm-hmm.
He was actually that what you see him walking that commercial.
Yeah.
That's a Mystic.
Yeah.
He's
Well, you want to know
walking
something?
along
I
that
think
back
it's
road
the
when
same
you
commercial he
see
ran
the
four
Mystic River.
or
Yeah.
6 years ago.
Matter of fact, if you go down the Mystic, all you see is Murphy's house.
Oh yeah, that's a heavy Democrat town.
Yeah.
That's probably the king of Democrat towns over there.
Yeah.
Groton and Stonington.
That's where Murphy is.
Artistic.
Yeah. Yep.
That's okay.
He didn't come walking down this street.
That's okay. When they keep flooding in the immigrants and they move into Mystic, then they'll love it.
Yeah.
Right now, we're not getting impacted by that as much, right? Like some of these other areas in
Not
the
as bad,
country,
yeah.
right? But it's going to happen.
Oh yeah.
Eventually, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be, don't cry to me
No.
because I want it stopped.
No.
You know, I don't mind people coming in and wanting a job and, you know, improving their quality of life for their
Right.
family, stuff like that. But they
was-
got to be vetted and checked out.
Yeah, I was just going to give my disclaimer. I don't have a problem with immigrants, Democrats, this and that, but whatever. I don't even care what you are, but you can't defend allowing people to do things illegal on purpose.
Right.
That's just
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
hypocrisy.
Yeah.
You know, it's and not only that, but they're going out and hurting other people. It's no reason for it.
Yeah.
But
Kathy says, look up Theo Vaughn's interview with J.D. Vance and Trump. Very entertaining.
yeah, it is funny.
Is it?
Yeah, very funny.
So anyway,
Giddy up.
so what time is it?
10:00.
Almost 10 o'clock.
Yep.
I think we did pretty well, even without Kathy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
Well, she
yeah.
didn't want to wake up today.
She didn't want to wake
Yeah.
up.
The about the rental thing. Talking about the rental thing real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Talk about the rental property issue.
So we, I guess, I haven't gotten anything in writing yet, but Public Health and Safety and the Ordinance Committee, I guess, are being tasked with developing a possible, maybe probably better put, doing research on a rental ordinance in town. So I know we've all looked up a bunch of stuff on it, and
Yep.
I think that would be interesting to say the least.
Well, it'd be interesting to see. I know you wrote something recently to the building inspector. It'd be interesting to see what kind of comments come back.
Oh, the questions?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think those are good questions to ask
Hmm.
because is there an issue?
Yeah, is there an issue
Yeah.
to begin with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I'd be
Well, the first
interested-
select person brought it up at the last BOS that she's been asked to look into it.
Yeah. and I think it's worth looking
Right.
into. But
Um,
one of the questions asked was, "Is there how many do you have? How many complaints have you had? How many violations have you had? How many code violations have you had?"
yep. Are we going to
Um,
be able to enforce it? Because every time we come up with an ordinance,
Right,
and we try to get it up to that,
It takes forever.
right.
up to the Board of Selectmen or whatever, the question is, how are we going to enforce it?
Yeah. Then they find some little dinky word they don't like.
Yeah. But I
So-
think one of the ways you can enforce it. It is possible to enforce violations. That the problem is you're going to have people on to enforce those violations. That's the
Well, here's the thing, though. When I read through those ordinances from the other towns, it was the building inspector that was enforcing the fines, right?
for that in particular. Yeah.
For the rental
For building
properties,
violations,
for the
right.
rental property. Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
So
could be interesting.
What was
The one thing they need to do is not only for building issues, but speeding issues, stop sign issues, is to start to pay, make people get ticketed and make people pay.
Yeah.
Being a nice guy is not going to work anymore. You got to show people, you got to teach them a freaking lesson.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's tough. If I got to pay a $200 fine,
So
I
be
got to
it.
pay a $200 fine. But once you stop paying those $200 fine, the words are going to get out.
Yeah.
And people are going to say, man, they're reinforcing.
Well, you know what's
Yeah.
going to happen. They see the first person pulled over on Main Street. The word's going to get out on all over
Yeah.
the place, all over
Which
social
is
media.
about-
yeah, it's going to be
That's-
Paul. Paul's going to be the first one to get
Yeah.
pulled over.
I could do. But I'm just saying, it's about time. Stop being Mr. Nice Guy and stop.
Well, that's just it. Yeah. That's the whole, I think, issue goes around. Well, we don't want to. I'm not hearing it word for word this way. My thought is people are afraid of upsetting people that they know.
tough crap.
And that's not our job. We're here to protect the overall citizens of the town and stuff. So.
You know, just because somebody's a buddy, that doesn't mean you protect them.
Right. So, but with the rental, I think the biggest thing
Same thing.
we're going to look at is how are we going to know when these rental properties become available and need to be inspected?
They don't tell you.
That's what we're going to have. So there's got to be a way to know that, or we're going to have to be more stringent on the actual complaint itself.
Plus, a lot
That's
of them
the-
are absentee landlords.
I know some towns have a ordinance that says you cannot be an absentee landlord.
There's a lot of absentee landlords in
Yep.
town.
Yeah, there's a couple that I know that you are not even, if you have a rental property, you have to live in the same state or town.
But
Or have someone that's a representative
so
on file.
I know we're not the only town that has this problem.
No, well, I
Oh,
found
sure.
a couple towns already that have that
Well,
problem.
Right. So it would seem to me strengths in numbers, right?
Yeah.
So you start getting all the towns to start looking at this and start, joining together and utilize their resources to go after some of these absentee landlords and, holding them accountable. Like you were saying, we're not doing a good job. And I saw that as being a supervisor. You saw it as a manager. If you don't hold your people accountable,
Right.
then it just enables the behavior, and the behavior just propagates throughout, the organization, and then the organization gets weaker, and nothing happens. Nothing good comes out of it.
Yeah.
So-
I might call CCOG and see if we can get any information from them too. So
Yeah, I mean, if you watch some of the things that's going on in Hartford where people were complaining, freaking ceilings are falling down, the freaking bathtubs are leaking, the showers are leaking, there's freaking mold on the ceiling. That stuff should be fixed
Yeah.
by the landlord, but a lot of them live in New York or New Jersey or,
Yep.
Can't get it fixed. You can understand.
Yeah,
why.
and some of them, and from what I understand, some of these people, some of these landlords, one specific is a monthly lease. So if you complain, he kicks you out.
Yeah.
He won't re-up your lease the next month or something like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's got to be some kind of protection against that. You know,
I mean,
people have
not
to be
all
held
landlords-
accountable.
Not all landlords.
No,
are
they're not.
that way. I know.
I mean, look at COVID.
Yeah.
You know, people didn't have to pay their rent during COVID, right?
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
So the
I don't
landlords
know.
still have to pay their
Yeah.
bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
So how are they doing that?
I don't know how that was even legal. Honestly, I don't like that's a violation of
No.
citizen rights and stuff. I mean, you're sending a landlord into bankruptcy.
Yeah.
That's not.
Legislatures didn't give a crap,
Yeah,
but now they're on their ass because they're not fixing anything.
yeah,
So
Well,
Yeah.
they didn't have money coming in for a couple of years, right?
yeah.
yeah.
So
Mm.
all right.
Well,
So it's enough
Get it?
whining on this show.
I.
All right.
Yeah.
Got anything else to add? Weekend's up here, you know, and then we're about 4 days left. 1, 2, 3, 4 days left.
I'm on my Sunday one.
And I'm telling you what, I'm hoping it's not going to take 2 weeks to count the votes. I'm hoping it's over by,
It should be a
3,
few
4 in
days.
the morning.
I think it should be a few days.
You know, but with all the
Well, they're not
early
allowed to count
voting
the
and
ballots.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't count the ballots till after 8 o'clock or something like
Yeah.
that. Eastern
Well, I think
Standard Time.
the local elections, if they're any, in the not the president, but most of the representatives and the feds will all be counted. But I don't think you'll find the president ones will be straight out. There's still going to be a while.
I'm telling you, what is Paul? I'm going to ask you straight up. What's your confidence of the voting right now? Like what am I thinking of? What's your confidence in security of the voting right now?
Well, that's a good question because you have to kind of say I kind of hope I can rely on the people who are monitoring this thing as it being okay. But I think you're going to find that they're going to find instances where some things are not up and up.
Mm-hmm.
You look down here, they're pretty strict.
Yeah.
If you
Oh,
went
yeah.
and did the early voting, they're pretty strict on what you would do.
Matter of fact, they're up. I think they're around 2,400 people voted already.
There's big numbers in this town,
Oh.
so I think down this town, I found that to be very strict.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked a location a couple of times. I was completely confident in I mean, there was a lot of questions at some points, like, are we doing it right? And they looked it up.
Yeah.
It wasn't. But I think you're going to see mostly on the other side of the country or some of the bigger cities where you're going to have some of the problems.
Oh, we had a problem in a
Was it
election in Bridgeport,
Yeah.
right?
They actually had our video dumping the ballots into the
Yeah.
box.
So
So,
they had videos of people doing that in the last election,
Yeah.
if you recall.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I'm
but-
sure when this thing is over, whoever wins, they're going to find them both sides bitching.
there's a lot of people that are keeping their eye on this, a lot more than last
I think
time.
what
So,
a lot of people aren't anticipating is the presidential election, I think, has already been decided.
Well,
it
yeah,
goes-
because ABC came out with the result already.
It's Electoral College makes that decision.
They did.
yeah.
They accidentally showed Harris winning by 4 or 5%.
Yeah. So I think
That was a stupid thing on their part.
I think the local elections are going to be the ones that are more state and local.
Well, it's ABC.
Yeah.
You
But
know,
I think that what you need to look at is what are the Electoral College votes. If they do it by the way they're supposed to do it,
Yep.
it's not been decided.
well, the problem I have with this whole election is you got one candidate that won primaries, got votes, got the nomination. You got another one that didn't win a damn vote.
Yeah.
And got selected.
It wasn't even a vote, right?
Not even a vote.
Yeah.
It was picked by the party elite, and that was that.
Well, they knew what a puppet would be like. So
Mm-hmm.
so
So
the
that to
president's
me is a disregard of the Constitution right off the bat.
now-
Yeah.
so
They
we
could have
may
had an open convention, and they could have done something.
Yeah, we
All
may
this,
have a new president may be heavy duty.
yeah. So yeah, but it's just disgusting what this country's come to with just letting anybody come up. I mean, I don't understand. You just watch her on interview. She's
She's a
But you
bumbling
know-
idiot.
how is she going to be able to go up against the guy in China, North Korea, and Russia? How's she
can't.
going to be able to do that? She's not.
She can't.
See, that's the problem. Everybody saw what's happened to the previous president, how he was not really making decisions. That automatically now everybody thinks she's going to be a puppet because of what's going on already. You know, it's unfortunate that's happened to her. You know,
Well.
hopefully she's got a mind of her own. I don't know. We'll see.
She can't even hold a press conference.
Well,
so
she
I know
hasn't
that,
had a press conference.
Well, she had a minor one yesterday. A couple questions. That was it, but no answers.
Yeah.
Same old answer.
Whatever. It's going to be what
All
it
right.
is. It's
We're
be
going to get
whatever.
going here. We can talk
Yeah.
about this all day. Rich is getting hungry.
Yes.
So you guys enjoy the weekend. And Paul, you're showing up Monday
Yeah.
with Mike. And I don't know if he's got a guest lined up or not.
I
But,
don't know. I haven't heard.
so program director will send something out.
Yeah.
We'll go from there. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Get in. Enjoy.